how are you all doing? I'm Dave Dufour. I'm the executive director of Elkhart Civic Theater, which owns the Bristol Opera House. So my first question is, how many of you have never been here before? Okay, all right. Well, the building is 130 years old. You could have found the time, okay? So just letting you know that, okay. But truthfully, besides comedy shows, most of what we do is actually live theater, plays, and musicals, and we have a great schedule this season. You've already missed our outstanding production of Fiddler on the Roof, but coming up in September is the murder mystery. It's actually the play that became the pilot for the TV show Columbo. It's called Prescription Murder, and that's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then following that, I have to double check here, in November, we're doing the quirky, funny, and not as dirty as it sounds musical, Urinetown. So we've got a lot of great shows coming, and we've got more coming up after the first of the year, plus youth productions and a whole lot of other great theater. So I would sincerely hope that you come back, pick up one of these here in the lobby, and it'll tell you everything that's coming up in this season that just started here in July. So please come back. You will enjoy live theater as well as comedy. This is the third or fourth of these comedy nights that we've done with the Comedy Deli, and so without further delay, I want to introduce the leader of the Comedy Deli and your host for the evening, Mr. Brad Miller.
Dave Dufour. I've known him for about 107 years. I don't know. No, maybe not that long, but I've known Dave a long time. My name is Brad Miller. I am one of the founding members of the Comedy Deli. Sean Shank and Otis Boggs are the two others. I want to make sure they get their proper props. Otis will be our closer tonight. You've seen that in your program, so you see him a little bit later. Now, what I want to do right now is I want to get over a couple of housekeeping rules. So first of all, everybody got a cell phone? Take them out and turn them off. Okay, let's be nice to the comedians, make sure we're not ringing, mom's calling, whatever, husband's calling, boyfriend's calling, girlfriend's calling, whatever that is, just you know, turn them off, put them on vibrate, whatever you gotta do. For those of you who have not been here before, the bathrooms are at the exit, take a right, another right, go to the one of, whatever sex you call yourself. I'm not gonna get into that. There, you know, there's pictures, figure it out. Oh, I get a light for your phone. Oh, so that's good. Cool.
We're going to try to give you another spot.
All right, cool. I like that. Some other things to talk about. So we give this class about twice a year where we bring new comedians or folks who want to polish themselves as comedians into a class for about 8 weeks. The really cool thing about this particular class, this particular time, was the fact we also were filming a documentary at the time. So we're putting the documentary as we speak, putting it together. So look for that on whatever medium I can sell it to. I haven't got there yet, so we'll be seeing about that. Secondly, if you're interested in doing some stand-up, we are starting another class September 14th. It will be at the Underground Laugh Lounge Comedy House in Niles, Michigan. If you need information, just look it up on the web and we'll have that out to you. So if anybody's interested in being a comedian or just doing public speaking, come on out and we'll teach you how to do that. Give you a little bit more confidence and be able to speak in front of public. All right? Show of hands. Give me a hands. How many times is the first comedy show you ever been to? Give me a clap. Couple? No? Everybody's veterans. Got one. Veterans. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I need to understand my audience a little bit. So you guys know how to do the wave, right? Everybody know how to do the wave? Give me a clap. Yeah. Give me a clap. You know how to do the wave? All right. So we're going to start on this side. You're going to stand up and do the wave, and we're going to go all the way to this side. Ready? Here we go. And up. And wave. Very good. Awesome job. All right. You need to know the audience a little more. Okay, everybody put the hands up. Put the hands up again. Hands up. Everybody get the hands up. All right, please pass the wallets and purses to your left. Kidding, that's a joke. All right. I also need to get one more thing. I need to understand my audience. Women, let me hear from you. Women. All right, very good. Women, on a count of 3, I need you to make this noise. Ooh. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. Guys, let me hear from you. And those who are not sure they're guys, let me hear from you too. Guys, on the count of 3, I need you to make this noise. 1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to put them together. 1, 2, 3. Guys. Women. Sex part of the show is now over. Smoke them if you got them. That's about as long as it's going to last for some of y'all anyway. So, tell you a little bit more about me. Let's see. I'm a wedding officiant. Anybody need to get married tonight? I've actually married people at a show before. I can marry you right now. I've had all kinds of weddings over the years. I've had like goth weddings, right? Where you turn to the bride, do you want to take your husband? And they just say, whatever, right? The cowboy one where they ride up with the Marlboro in the mouth, they gotta take it out before they say I do. Seen that one, right? I've had all kinds. One wedding in particular draws me to memory. It was a wedding between John and Jenny. That's what their names. Yeah. So rehearsal went fine. We're at the wedding ceremony. It's on a Saturday. I turned to John. John, do you take Jenny to be your lawfully wedded wife? So on and so forth. Please say I do. And he goes, I do. And I turned to Jenny. And I have a smart aleck mind. Anybody else got a smart aleck mind? Give me a clap if you got a smart aleck mind. All right, you're going to understand this. I turned to Jenny and I see Jenny's mom sitting right where you are. And her eyes locked. And something snapped in my brain. And I had this habit of saying movie lines at inappropriate times. And I turned to Jenny and I go, Jenny, I know what love is. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that check. Another time I had this job where I went into Canada twice a day. I'd go up and I'd come back across the Windsor Bridge up in Canada, see my customers up there, and I'd see the same Canadian Mounted Police up there every time I went up there. And I'd roll up there, and I don't know why, I'd roll up there, and they'd say, welcome to Canada, do you have anything to declare? And I'd say, no, I'm here to see my customers. Same thing, right? Twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, to see the same guys. This is their job. One day I roll up there, again, something snaps, my smart aleck mouth comes up, roll down the window, welcome to Canada, do you have anything to declare? By the way, he has a French accent because it's a joke, so work with me on this. Into Canada, welcome to Canada, do you have anything to declare? And I look up him and I say, women, how much were your women? I want to buy your little girls. 8 hours later, I figured the Canadian Mounted Police have no sense of humor. Smart aleck has gotten me a couple times. You guys heard the impression I did just a few minutes ago. Who was that, by the way? Anybody know? Forrest Gump. You want to hear another one? Another Forrest Gump impersonation? All right, here we go. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump in the Wintertime by Brad Miller. I know what gloves is. It started snowing 4 months ago and hasn't stopped. I've seen all kinds of snow, big fat snow and little stinging snow, sideways snow, even snow that come up from the bottom. I had snow on my mirror last night, and that's all I got to say about that. Life is like a $20 hooker and an 8-ball. You never know what you're going to get. That didn't really happen to me, by the way. I just want to point that out. But smart aleck has kind of been my whole life. I mean, how many doctors, any doctor people in here? People that have been in the doctors doing things like, you mean medical folk? Anything like that? Good, because I'm going to talk about them for a minute. I'm getting older, and so I had to get this thing called a heart catheterization. All right, now what that is, very simply, is they take a camera and they go in through the vein, they go in to look around at your heart, just kind of look around, right? Everything turned out fine, I was good, they just give me some more meds, which is what the American way does, right? But my medical doctor forgot to share a couple pieces of information that might have been useful. So I go in there for the procedure. I got the gown on that opens up the down and the back, you know, the one that really makes you look sexy, right? I'm in the gown, there's 6 or 8 nurses doing their thing, hooking me up to this monitor and that thing over there. And in walks this classic African-American nurse named Chloe. And she says, I'm here to shave you, honey. What? Evidently, if they can't get in through the arm, they have to go in through here. Now, if I'd have known that, I'd have been a good boomer, got out the weed whacker, and done a little boomer hedge hamming down here, right? I'm here to shave you, honey. Okay. So up goes the dress, and she starts shaving. Stop looking at my mic. They get done shaving, and I'm shaved. I'm shaved down to like the middle of my thighs. It looks like thigh-high hair socks. Sorry for that visual. But the smart aleck shows up again. Somebody left a marker right next to my bed. What could possibly go wrong? Pop the cap, and I write, don't be jealous. Down the dress, off to the procedure. I'm thinking about, I got him. Yeah. I get done, and I'm all groggy. They don't put you completely out, but I had no idea what's going on. It's good drugs. I come out of it, and I take off my dress, I'm changing, and don't be jealous is gone. You know what it says now? At what? You guys are going to have a really good time tonight. I thank you for my time. I appreciate that. Now, as I said, we have contestants, students, if you will. Some of these will be the first time they've been up on stage. You guys got to really get raucous for them. Laugh out loud, clap for everything they do. They need the confidence. They're under contest. The winner tonight is going to get that gold trophy. Second place, the silver trophy, and the third place gets a thumbs up. Y'all get the joke? Okay. So, without further ado, I want to bring our first contestant comedian out. Please give a big welcome to my friend, Will Mounts.
Hi. Don't worry, I'm gonna move this out the way so you guys don't think I'm playing hide and seek up here, okay? So, as my friend Brad did mention, my name is Will Mounts. I'm very happy to be here in Bristol at the historic Opera House. This is awesome. It's a great experience. And I'm scared shitless. Because I come out here and I see all these lights and probably a camera somewhere. Maybe I'm thinking there's somebody going to be nefarious and put this on YouTube. Who knows? But you know what? Let's do it. All right? So I'll start things off. I'm going to go ahead and share some things with you guys that I get asked a lot as a tall person. First and foremost, yes, I do and did play basketball in high school. But I also played football. I was a double threat. On the football field, I was right tackle. On the basketball court, I was left out. Because white face. I mean, just straight up. Second thing I get talked to a lot about is asking me to reach things on the high shelf at the grocery store for them. Got some short people back there somewhere. I can't really see you because, you know, you're so short, but yeah, I can reach it for you. I'm choosing not to. Because for some strange reason, watching short people struggle brings me joy. But I'm an equal opportunity asshole, so when I see somebody asking me to do that, I ask them to tie my boots. I get the same reaction every single time. That or a kick in the nuts. It's 50-50. The final thing I get asked a lot is if I am aware of what having big hands and big feet means. I see some of you thinking, the smoke's going, the hamster's turning. It's not true. It's really not, guys. Bless my wife. She never told me whether it's big or small. All I know is I have 3 beautiful boys at home because of her. And she loves country music, so she's nicknamed it Girth Brooks. Bless her heart. I grew up in Three Oaks, a small town. Some of you may have heard of it. It's about 1,200 people. The only good thing they got going for them is Prancer. Who fucking cares? It's about a reindeer that gets lost. Woo-hoo. But it was great growing up in a small town because I have had this very beard right here since the 4th grade. Granted, I was 17 in the 4th grade because country school's no good at education. So with this beard in the 4th grade, I was able to go to the corner store down the road and buy booze, smokes, and porn without an ID. Which really, again, kind of made sense because I just rode up on my DUI cycle and Walked right in. Look, you're Elkhart adjacent. You know what a DUI cycle is, okay? Come on. It earned me quite a few nicknames being this big. First and foremost is Sasquatch. I love that one. My kids call me, my nieces and nephew call me Uncle Squatchy. It's awesome. It also earned me the nickname Zangief. Whoever that is, I don't know. But the most recent one I got called, this is fun. Brokeback Lumberjack. It's not wrong. I earned that one because my buddy Phil took me to Chicago and we were going to do bar hopping. And he took me to an area of town I'd never been to before. Took me to a place called Roscoe's. And Roscoe's, for the uneducated, is a gay bar. The big gay bar in Boys Town. Drag shows, burlesque, the whole deal. And I found this out because I got hit on all night. And gentlemen, I found out how the other half lives, how the ladies get treated when they go to the bar. It's glorious. 3 hours straight. I didn't have to pay for a single drink. And this guy, Mark, would come up and periodically check on me and say, "Hey, big boy, how you doing?" Still straight, guy. All right, guys, that's my time. My name's been Will Mounts. Thank you very much.
All right, I don't need to take the mic down for our next comedian because he's just as tall as the last one. We got both of our men mountains. 2 out of 3 of them are right up the top here. So I'm going to keep it up like this, not because I want you to see my neck, but more importantly, I want you to give a big Bristol House welcome to JPB.
Bristol Opera House, thank you for coming out. I am JPB. I know what you're thinking. First of all, Mom, I apologize for the dick jokes that Will just told. That wasn't me. I'll clean it up. But I am JPB. I know what you're thinking. You say, my God, this guy's probably been in a lot of hockey fights. Right? Yeah. In the stands. At my kids' games against other fat dads who can't keep their mouth shut. And you'd be right. My wife's safe word is, my God, will you get the hell off of me? I can't breathe! We have any anti-vaxxers in the house? Come on, don't be shy, anti-vaxxers. There we are. I'm an anti-vaxxer and I'm proud of it. But not for the reasons that you guys think, okay? They work, they don't cause autism, but I am an anti-vaxxer because I am a Generation X parent and I am tired of the discrimination. Right, any other Gen X parents here? Woo, yeah, Gen X. All right, here's the deal. My mom is born 1939, she'll be 85 next week. Woo, Mom. And think about how these people grew up, right? They had war, they had disease, they had poverty. Hell, they had rusty jungle gyms, right? Drinking and driving wasn't even illegal. It was just kind of frowned upon, right? So back then, kids died. And nobody cared. You lose a kid, you just make another one, right? Now, so when I was born, I was raised the same way, right? It's like every day was a struggle. It's like some of us might make us, some of us might not. Look, I know what I look like. I'm 6'4", I'm 300 pounds. You don't start out small and turn into this, right? So they had to pry me out of my mom when I was born. And my baby pictures had scars on my face where they pried me out. In fact, my head was so big that until I was 8, every picture of me is leaned up against something, right? Because I couldn't sit up. So they pry me out of my mom, and they wipe me off, and they put me in her arms, and she looks at me and she says, my God, this one's gonna eat a lot. And right there, I'm on the back foot. Right there, it's a race. I'm struggling to survive. My dad's in the lobby of the hospital. He's taking bets, and he's like, it's a long shot this one makes it to 13. He's not gonna make it. So we're growing up, I had a sister, I had 2 brothers, and every time a boy in the neighborhood would get sick, my mom would say, "Yo, Biggie, why don't you and the dumb one go up the street and sit with Billy? He's got the measles." Okay. I don't know why my mom sounded like an 80s gang boss, but she did. And my sister didn't have to put up with this shit because she had skills, she could cook. So when she was 10, my dad took her aside, put his arm around her and said, "Honey, you got 2 choices. You can make dinner every night, or you can get the measles." She's still alive, she chose dinner. Right? When I was 10, I wanted to ride a bike, and so I asked my mom, "Mom, can I have a bike?" And she said, "Sure, there's bike parts in the garage, go out there and make yourself a bike." 10 years old, so I was my own bike mechanic. I went out and made my bike and I took it for a ride. Now the thing you have to understand is in the 80s, the rules for safety for riding a bike were the same as going outside to play, and that is, if you're not playing in the hose, put on at least a pair of shorts. Okay, so I'm on this homemade bike, I'm riding around the neighborhood, and what do you think happens? I Pac-Man the front tire, I hit my head off the ground, and I get a concussion. At least I thought it was a concussion, and I run home crying, and my mom takes me aside, and she looks at me and she says, "Oh, honey, it's just a little concussion." Now, it might be the concussion talking, but it didn't sound like she was being sympathetic. It sounded like, "Damn it, we were hoping it's going to be a lot worse." Now, you're all saying to yourself, what in the hell does this have to do with vaccines? And I'm going to tell you. At some point along the line, we went from, it's just a little concussion, to, oh my God, it's a concussion, right? And I don't care where you fall in the political spectrum. If you are Democrat, Republican, you can't tell me that the science has shown that there is a better way to deal with a kid that's a jerk than smallpox. And we don't have that as an option as parents anymore because of vaccines, for the first time in human history, the first time in thousands of years, Generation X, we were the first generation where the expectation is that all of our kids should live. And it's bullshit. I am JPB. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. Let's keep it going for Brad Miller.
Keep it going for JP. And now for my next amazing trick. We gotta move this down just a little bit. For our next comedian, please give an Opera House welcome to Scott Callahan.
Let me make an adjustment. Give it up for Brad Miller. He's doing a great job. You know, he's got real like pole vaulter energy, you know what I mean? Big pole vaulter energy. Most of you got it. Good, good. That's gonna be my comedy, so get used to it. Now listen, we're all students of this class, right? So when you first got into the class, they said when you take the stage, immediately address the elephant in the room, right? They're all looking at you, they are all thinking the same thing, so allow me to do that now. Brad Miller and I were born Siamese twins. Now we were separated because Siamese twins was deemed an offensive term, but no longer. Now they call us conjoined twins. So good news, they're putting us back together. But unfortunately, at our age, there's only one appendage they can use to put us back together. It's our wieners. So when we look at each other, we'll make an H. And if we give each other a high five, it's the Eiffel Tower. It goes this way too, the Eiffel Tower. Now listen, we've only got about 5 minutes up here, and I can't take much more time because I'm currently squatting in a house in Granger. That's right, 2 more days and that place is mine. I've never had a pool, so I'm excited. Now I tried that joke in this theater 2 weeks ago, right, but it didn't work because I said Bristol, Indiana. Who the hell with squat in a house in Bristol, Indiana? You can literally go up to the front door, knock on it, they'll invite you in and give you the home. Along with the truck on the blocks in the driveway. Now, I have an idea, but I'm not sure exactly how to market it, and I'm hoping some of you can help me. Every morning, I wake up and my little kitty gets on my chest. Oh, I say, "Hi, kitty, kitty." "I love you, kitty, kitty." And my kitty looks at me and goes, I call that my vomit alarm cat. Because it's 5 a.m. and time to feed the kitty. Now, that cat's not mine. That cat's actually my girlfriend's. Why does it get so quiet when I say that? I have a girlfriend. She's amazing and I love her. Let me guess. When she goes outside so the sun can get some of her. Listen, that worked. So one day, I met her at the mall. She was shopping in the petite section at Lane Bryant. Girls get that one. Guys, let me explain that to you. She's 4'11" and 3'2". She's size gifted. She's blessed. Anyways, a couple days ago, she looks at me, she goes, "Scott, I love you." I said, "I love you too." She goes, "Scott, I want to marry you." I said, "Oh my gosh, I want to marry you too." She goes, "Do you know the secret to the perfect marriage?" I said, "Your mom living in a different state?" No. She goes, "No." I go, "What's the secret to a perfect marriage?" She goes, "You need to marry your best friend." Oh, you want to be my best friend? She says, "I do want to be your best friend." I said, "That's amazing. Come here, give me a hug." And as we're hugging, I reach down and I grab a handful of her underwear and I give it a yank and give her first best friend wedgie. Because we're besties. That's what we do. So the next day I'm on the internet and I find a picture of the world's ugliest dog winner of that year. And I go, "Hon, come here. Look at this. Isn't this your mom?" Because we're besties. We're joking. Later on that day, she goes, "Honey, bestie, I've made an appointment at my salon for you and I to go get the Hollywood experience, bestie." I said, "I don't know what the Hollywood experience is, but I'm in." Would you guys like to know what the Hollywood experience is? I got my back, my crack, and my sack waxed. I don't want to be besties anymore. That's my time. Thank you very much. Good night.
Scott Callahan. Interesting story about Scott. He's actually taken our class twice. He's going so well. He didn't even be able to talk before, so he's doing very good. All right, our next comedian out tonight, our next contestant tonight, I've known for a very long time, great friend of mine. Please give it up for Kristen Baker.
Hi guys. Yes, I am Kristen Baker. My husband is here with me tonight. We are about to celebrate our 27th wedding anniversary this week. Yes. Now, I'm a little weird. I actually married my first kiss, my first boyfriend, all of it. It's a little weird, you know, because I'm like body count uno, right? So, which is really sweet or really sad, depending on how you look at it. You know, was I just really lucky, or did I find the first guy that would pay attention to me and latch on for life, you know? Love at first sight or parasite? He'll never know. He won't. But you should pray for him. I'm a lot. Yeah, you really should. I'm an overthinker with a very overactive imagination. Any other overthinkers in the room? Yes. And some of them did not respond because they were overthinking of whether they should clap or raise their hands. And then at 3 a.m. they're going to rehearse 7 different scenarios of what they should have done. Those are my people. I love you. Okay. Yes. So let me give you a little glimpse into overthinking. So a couple weeks ago, I was at Shipshewana at an antique store. And in walks an older, sort of wizened-looking Asian woman. And she turned and looked at me, and she pointed, and she said, "Finish her." And I swear, the lights dimmed. The Mortal Kombat theme came from somewhere. Somebody played it. And my heart started racing, and I'm like, this is it. I don't know what to do, but like it's Mrs. Miyagi or me, and my family needs me. And so my heart's racing, right? Like I'm trying to figure out what to do, and then I just sort of like put my purse behind me. I don't know why I did that. That's what I did. And then I just became sort of like a video game avatar in idle mode for just like a second. And then as she's getting closer, I realize she was saying furniture. Furniture. That's what she was saying. So I just took 2 steps to the right and let her take in a finely crafted oak table. She's a big fan. She loved it. Yeah. And then I went into a shame spiral, and I went home and read 2 books about implicit bias and racial profiling. So, yeah, you guys just took a little trip. This is where I live all the time. It's fun. Now, overthinking can come in handy, okay? So let me give you an example. So do you ever have like just, I try to be a kind, empathetic person, right? Like I'm a teacher. I'm shaping the future of America, right? But there are certain human behaviors that just get under your skin, right? Okay? So is everybody okay if we talk about truck testicles for just a second? Is everybody all right? Okay. Are there any truck nuts owners in the room? Okay, if there are, I just want you to know, I'm not here to judge you. That's God's job. But he and I do talk every day, and sometimes I know what he's thinking. And I think he tucked those little wrinkly prune bags down there out of sight for a reason, okay? They're functional, they're not aesthetic, okay? And I no shame, I'm married to a set. They gave me my daughter, super grateful, super grateful. I just don't want to see your diesel danglers when I'm in the drive-thru. I don't, okay? So I was just in a very Karen-y place, and that's not me. I love people. And so here's what I came up with, you guys. Are you ready? Okay, so all of these men are a part of a tragic group of testicular cancer survivors. They are. And they had to make the harrowing choice between their huevos machos and walking their daughters down the aisle, and they chose life. You guys, they did. They did. And then they had their meatballs Han Solo'd into carbonite. Yeah. And then just exaggerated because they're guys, right? And then to commemorate their manhood, and that is what is on the back of their trucks, right? Yeah. And they're so brave, And now I just want to get like a little purplish, pinkish, sometimes grayish, slightly hairy ribbon, right? To wear. For solidarity, right? Maybe we could have like a 5K, and there could be like little netted bags with kiwis between the runner's legs, and we just, to show our support, because they matter. Hashtag dads without nads. And now don't we all feel better about truck nuts? See? That is the power of the imagination. Class dismissed. That's my time. I'm Kristen Baker. Thanks, guys.
So, how many of y'all got truck nuts then? Not that I want to know, I'm just curious. All right, so our next comedian I've known for a great long time. She's a wonderful friend of mine. Please give a Bristol Opera House welcome to Elise Davis.
Give it up for Brad. All right, as he said, my name is Elise Davis. I have been married for 26 years now, and sometimes I think that's a real miracle. The difference in our priorities is vast. I mean, we'll be having company over, and I'll be cooking and cleaning, and he'll like, "Is there anything I can do to help? Anything you need?" I'm like, yeah, I need this, and that. And he'll say, "Well, I think I'm gonna take my dad for a haircut." All right, baby, you do you. So we have 4 kids. Did anybody here homeschool? No, me neither. I don't have the temperament for it. Somebody would have ended up dead. But a friend of mine, she does homeschool, and so when she posted a picture of her daughter in a fancy dress saying, had to rush home from ballet practice to get ready for homecoming. Girl, you whiz home. You done came home. You could be the homecoming queen if you want. It's one of the perks of the homeschool. It's right up there with, being the valedictorian, but... So I do have a son and 3 daughters. My son has never forgiven us for not giving him a brother. I said, baby, we tried 3 times. I am not a machine. I'm not that kind of machine. But when my youngest daughter was born, the nurses kept trying to get me to hold the baby, and I'm in recovery from a C-section, and I am like, madam, I am about to have, in about 2 days, I'm about to have 4 kids 6 and under in my house. I would prefer to rest, thank you. And she said, hold the baby. I said, I don't want to hold the baby. She said, you need to hold the baby. I said, I don't want to hold the baby. She's like, just hold the baby. So anyway, she's in therapy now. My middle daughter, she was taking some Spanish, and she likes to drop a little vocab once in a while, so I had a carrot, and she said zanahoria, except what I heard was, is that an Oreo? So I said, are you stupid? Mother of the year, right here. When my oldest daughter was in about 3rd grade, I found a list in her bag, her school bag, entitled, Things I Need for Murder. Now, I was comforted by the presence of ketchup on the list for fake blood, but also disconcerted by her awareness of the need for a scapegoat. But I remember at a parent-teacher conference, unrelated to the murder list, the teacher wanted to talk to me because she had asked my daughter, does your mom put your work on the refrigerator? And in typical 3rd grade candor, she had said, most of it she just throws away. So... I'm sorry, teacher. The sheer volume of paper coming into my house from 4 kids, it's not like the children were coming up and saying, Mommy, look at my artwork. Look at my drawings. And I would say, your drawing is trash. And that's exactly where it goes. I'm not a monster. That's not how it happened. But there is no refrigerator on the planet with that amount of real estate for all that paperwork. It just doesn't happen. So I was worried about the 3 girls becoming teenagers, though, but maybe I'm blessed. This has actually been one of my favorite times of them growing up. My youngest just was getting ready to take her 2nd attempt at her driver's test, and the first time she had a very persnickety instructor, and she said, yeah, if this instructor ticks me off, I'm going to give her a fistful of my face. I'm like, oh, precious baby. You're going to want to back that up and reverse it, but okay. You do you. I will fight anyone who says it's easier to raise boys than girls, though, because let me explain. So this kid, there's a riddle that says, what belongs to you, but is used more by others. Does anyone know? It's your name. My son thought it was soap. When he started growing in that sweet little peach fuzz, he was so proud, and he looks at me, his beautiful mother, the woman who gave him life. He looks at my upper lip and says, mustache buddies. When he was 16, we passed a pretty girl, and he looks her up and down and says, ooh, she thick with 2 C's. Y'all know what that means? Yeah, it's slang. It means she got a booty on her. She got a big butt. Now, I don't know if y'all notice this, but I drive a little bit of a dump truck myself. Somebody tells me to put my big girl panties on. I'm like, dude, that is literally the only size I wear. So I asked him, am I thick with 4 C's? And that little twerp said 4. That's about my time. Thank you so much. My name is Elise Davis.
Keep it going for Elise Davis, come on. All right. We are down to our last comedian for the first half of the show. He's a great friend of mine. You're going to really love him. Please give a big welcome to Zach Weaver.
Oh, like Brad said, my name is Zach Weaver. And as you can see, I'm heavily tattooed. But in case you're wondering, the answer is no. It is not tattooed. I've put some thought into it though, and I thought like, if I was gonna get it tattooed, maybe a bottle rocket, because it goes off kind of quick. Maybe a tequila worm, because at my age, the only way it's getting anywhere near a mouth is on a birthday. Maybe even an apple, because it doesn't fall too far from the tree. My whole life does revolve around tattoos, and people tell me tattoos are orgasmic. No, not a chance. But it did make me realize that different types of tattoos and different types of sex go hand in hand. Okay? So like your hand poke tattoo, that's just a hand job. Okay? It's really only cool during high school, and you kind of always knew there was something better out there. Sleeve tattoos, it's doggy style, right? Used to be a little taboo and a little naughty, and now everybody's doing it. Neck tattoos. Neck tattoos are gay sex. Right? The people that have them are out and proud. This is me, this is who I am. Or they're like, man, I got that shit in prison. I could go on and on. Words are blowjobs. Black and Gray's missionary. Portraits are anal. Sometimes it's awesome. Other times you're like, holy shit, that was awful. It's a wonder I'm married. By a round of applause, do we have any couples in here? All right, a few of you. So I think in every relationship in the middle of the night, there's like a find the noise person. And in my relationship, that's me, right? We've all had that, like, what was that? Was that the cat? Should we get the gun? Not for the cat, you look concerned, sir. And we did have a get the gun incident, actually recently. At 2:47 in the morning, the alarm pops off. Fun fact about me really quick. For 5 years of my life, I was a professional competitive shooter. So when that alarm popped off, intruder, intruder, my internal soundtrack kicked in. Let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies. I explode out of bed, I grab my gun, the flashlight, and the fuzzy handcuffs. Just in case. I am in John Wick mode, and this is why we play the game. I have the perfect tactical plan to clear my house. From the top of the stairs, I can see the front door, and it is shut and locked. And I am cocked and cocked. From halfway down the stairs, I can peek around the corner and see the door to the garage, shut and locked. Now the next step in my perfect tactical plan is to clear the living room. The next step I actually took, I fell on the fucking stairs. My brain said living room, my body said, here comes the boom. And mind you, I have a loaded gun in my hand and an intruder, a possibly laughing intruder, in my house. And this sounded like someone threw a sleeping bag full of watermelons down the stairs. So as I'm laying there, more panicked than a homophobe going to a proctologist. Neither of us like backdoor intruders. I'm laying there thinking, any minute, a laughing intruder is going to come around that corner eating my potato chips. Luckily, they ran in terror, or they left in laughter. Either way, old tequila worm saved the day. I go back upstairs, and I find my wife laying on the floor in the fetal position, sobbing and shaking. She has tears running down her face, and she can barely catch her breath. Except, she's not sobbing. She's laughing. Hysterically. She looks up at me and she says, "You went from John Wick to Andy Dick real quick." I've been Zach Weaver. Thank you, guys.
Keep it going for Zach Weaver. All right, you guys. We're getting ready to do an intermission here real quick. Couple things I need to cover. First of all, I want to introduce our judges over here. So I want you to kind of look over here and stand up as I call you. Rick James, and not the Rick James you're thinking of. Jen James and Rose Miller. Rick and Jen used to run the smokehouse over in Mishawaka, right? Yeah, Smokestack, right? And my wife is Rose, so she's over there. I can introduce her. She said it was okay to come out and play tonight, so we're good. All right, so secondly, at the end of the contest, you guys have a vote in the best comedians, right? So if you look at your programs, you have a program, get a program, there is a 2D barcode. You have to scan it and you'll vote for the comedian that you think is best. Pretty simple stuff. And so please look for that at the end of the show. You're going to scan. That's how you guys are going to vote. That's your voice. Everybody got me? Right? All right. And secondly, I want to point out, we have a gold microphone, a silver microphone, and the thumbs up again. The votes will be tallied, and then we'll find out who wins each one of those. Everybody got me? All right. We're going to take a 10-minute intermission. Come on back. We're going to have a great time. Everybody had a good time so far? All right. Thank you so much. 10 minutes. That stuff too. You can do that. We having a good time tonight? We ever good? Do you like live comedy? I think live comedy is the best, right? So keep supporting live comedy in our area. Come out and see us wherever you see names and stuff like that. Recognize some of these names, right? You got a program, take it with you. There's places to scan that you can find out upcoming shows. Please do so. I think Dave talked about some upcoming shows here at the Opera House. Please come out and see the live shows they have out here. They're awesome shows. I've done shows out here for many years. All right, now, we're getting ready to start the second half. I have a problem with y'all, all right? You guys have been really, really good so far, but I get this feeling, this aura, that you're all a little bit tired. So I need you guys to up the energy just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit more, because the second half is better than the first half, at least from the teacher's perspective. I'm kidding, they're all great, Look. These next 7 are going to kill you just like the first 6 did. I'm really looking forward to see how y'all react to this. I want you to welcome our very first for the second half. Please give an Opera House welcome to Mo!
How's it going, Indiana? All right, so I'm told I have to adjust the glasses with y'all. I have a brain aneurysm. And we gotta speed this along or I'm gonna forget why the hell I'm here. Also, is no one gonna acknowledge the fact it's just a sausage fest up here tonight? My God, backstage reeks of like balls, Rogaine, and despair. Good on them boys though. They were able to pull themselves away from their sister-in-law's OnlyFans to join us tonight here in Bristol? I had a hell of a time finding the place, because it says Bristol Opera House. The tickets were Elkhart Civic Theater. My GPS told me it was South Bend. Although that last one's probably on me. I haven't updated my maps since they were made by like Rand McNally. Welcome to the Midwest. I will say, I have moved around a lot in my life, and one thing I'm certain, I am not made for city life. I'm a small town girl. My parents are what they call salt of the earth, which apparently is a very polite way of saying we were poor. My mom grew our vegetables and fruits in her garden. My dad shot and processed all our meat. I pissed and moaned the whole time. Yeah, you don't appreciate small town life until you get older. And then you long for that slow pace. That slow pace of driving down County Road 21, It's a summer evening, warm breeze, giant farm equipment that takes up both lanes. You're not even in a hurry, but you damn sure knew you wanted to get there faster than 11 miles an hour. Everyone in here has had that, I can get into that thought. Statistically, at least one of you have tried. I will say though that I think that growing up in a small town gave me a better appreciation for family. Like, I have a good relationship with my daughter. She does bag on me though because I won't join Snapchat. Facebook is old and tired. So am I. But honestly, I don't join Snapchat because I can't remember plans I made a point to put in my phone, on my laptop, and a Post-it note on the fridge. There's no shot in hell I'm gonna remember something I said in a disappearing message on an app that was designed to gaslight me. That same daughter that blows me shit about technology managed to get herself lost in the booming metropolis of Niles, Michigan. Fun fact, all the small towns around here have some fruit name festival each year. Except you, Bristol. Whew, they swung for the fences with Corn Dog Fest. I'm just betting this is sponsored by the American Heart Association. But in Niles, we have Apple Festival. And each festival is always culminated by like some sort of parade. I really have my fingers crossed. We're gonna have some giant Oscar Mayer wieners just floating down Division Street here next month. Back to my daughter though. She is an exterminator for a local company. Her childhood dream realized. She was on her way to an appointment one day and she wasn't quite sure which way to turn when she came to a stop sign. And if you've been to Niles in the past, I don't know, 10 years, I'm sure you've noticed every road is under construction. So I don't fault her for having to pull out her phone and look up Google Maps. Except when she looks up, there is a person who is flagging her through the stop sign frantically. In her red Chevy Lumina with bright yellow bug logos on each door. Yeah, it took her way too long to realize they had placed her smack in the middle of the Apple Festival parade. I give her props, because I know had it been me, I'd have went straight through that marching band to get the hell out of there. 10 points apiece, that's a new high score, guys. But she went the other way. She just started waving and tossing business cards out the window. Because she knew that Niles has a much greater need for exterminators than candy. And that's also how she became the head of her company's PR team, simply because she lives in a small town. All right, guys, that's my time. Remember, a vote for Mo is a vote for small towns.
Keep it going, Mo. All right. Our next comedian is another friend of mine. It seems like I got friends all over the place. But here's another friend of mine. I want you to give a big Goshen? Not Goshen. Bristol, welcome. Delmar Berkey.
So what do you think? Thick with 12 C's? And why do people feel the need to inform me that I am fat? This little kid outside the McDonald's spots me from outside and he's going, he must weigh 1,000 pounds. Hey, fat guy! Fat guy, fat guy, fat guy! Over and over and over again. He didn't quit till I backed over him in the parking lot. He is just darn lucky I was not in my car. Hey, flat guy. Flat guy, flat guy, flat guy. Aren't so funny now, are you, flat guy? How's everybody doing tonight? So I recently decided that I'm going to be pursuing comedy full time. So now the difference between me and the Will Work for Food guy is that I've got better business cards. Back here, my life is thriving. I'm doing comedy and dumpster diving. I got a Tempur-Pedic mattress in the back of my minivan. So, getting older, getting decrepit, my knees are wore out. And my memory's gone south. So if this comedy thing doesn't work out, I'm running for public office. Let's find out a little bit about the audience. How many of you like the Democrats? How many of you like the Republicans? And I guess the rest of you agree with me that there are plenty of losers and grifters on both sides! All right. Okay. Biden and the Orange Man. Wait a minute. That verse has expired like Joe. Kamala and the Orange Man. I wouldn't trust either one to drive my minivan. But both sides seem to want one of them to run the nation. If you adore Biden or you worship Trump, you may pucker up and kiss my massive rump. But I wouldn't cross the road to vote for either one of them. Thank you! I have an alternative ending. I wouldn't give the nuclear codes to either one of them. Thank you! So Biden is still president. You think he really has the nuclear codes? Okay, married men in the audience, show yourselves. Married men. All right. Do you get in trouble for using the bathroom? Did you spray? No, I didn't spray. I didn't turn the fan on. And you're going to have to plunge because my arm is tired. My wife hates when I rehearse that bit. Okay, I got to get out of here pretty quick, but I got a quick story to tell. I was driving through the countryside, and a cat ran out in front of me. And this is a really sad story, so I'm sorry. I timed it wrong, and I hit that poor cat. I knocked on the closest door. A lady comes to the door, and I said, hey, I hit a cat on the road. Did it belong to you? And she goes, I don't know what it looked like. And I go, and I go, that's my time. My name is Delmar, and you've been great. Just in case I don't come ahead in voting at the end of the evening, remember that my ballot boxes are being picked up at 2 in the morning. And, thank you. Give it up to Delmar.
Come on, you can keep it going for him. He's all right. I told you guys we like this stuff. All right. So how we doing? Still doing good? Good, right? See, the Comedy Deli teaches some fine comedians, don't we? We teach them a lot of them. So if you guys are interested, look us up. We're on every social media you can imagine. I try to do that all the time. Anyway, all right. Now, our next comedian is a great friend of mine. We go back a long way. Please give a welcome to Micah Bryan.
Hello, friends. Hello. I like you already. As Brad mentioned, my name is Micah, that's spelled M-I-C-H-A-H, and yes, I did have to retake a statewide exam because the government spelled my name wrong. Now, I do feel some pearl clenching and some asshole puckering, and I can only imagine it's because you saw my shirt. I do apologize for the attire. I was actually at an event reading cards. Anybody ever had their cards read? All right. Well, if you are interested, feel free to see me after the show. We can get a little something set up. I will let you know that I do embrace the drug dealer method, so the first taste is free. But most of the time you can catch me at events reading with one of my dear friends named Gemma Butterfly. She's been in the business for over, 10 years now, and she just expanded her services list. Anybody know what a yoni steam is? No? Okay. So it's when a lovely lady will take a nice squat over a pot of boiling herbs and spices and kind of just, it's a clam bake. And actually, if you use the code CLAMBAKE on her website, you'll get 10% off of your first punani puffin. But now, when she told me this, I had a lot of questions that I, necessarily didn't want answered. But my biggest one is, the drippage. The coochie condensation. Like, when you're done, do you kind of just stand up and just... I promise I do normal stuff too. I do theater. I've actually performed on this stage before. And the first time I performed on the stage, my father died, so can someone call my mommy? But I actually just got out of a show. It was about, racism. But I played a mixed baby that was passing as white up north. I know, I never thought I could get typecast either. But it was a very sincere show. I mean, it was impactful. I felt a lot of the words that came out of my character's mouth. Like, when I'm with other black people, we are feared, hated, ignored, and belittled in endless, insidious ways that you cannot even begin to imagine unless you've lived it. And I've lived it. But then I also had to live through the director of that theater talking about how she has every prejudice listed in the show. Yeah, I know, right? That's the proper response. There should be no applause for that. But it also reminds me of the show that I did before that was about the systemic racism in the housing market in the 1940s and 50s. And that director of the theater thought it would be appropriate to invite my, very colorful cast over for a dinner of fried chicken. Right, so naturally we all started to argue about who's going to bring the watermelon. But the director of the play, she actually decided that she was going to bring niguars, which is a cocktail made from champagne and grape soda. I just thought she was offering to carpool. There we go. Took a while to get to the back. But, so my father's dead. That never gets applause either. But he died in November, and I tend not to bring him up, but I figure since he's cremated, I can sprinkle him in. But as I mentioned, he died a while back in November, and so for New Year's, all of my friends got together, and we were like, let's play Cards Against Humanity. And if you don't, if you don't know Cards Against Humanity, essentially there's somebody who's like it. And you have like a fill in the blank or a question card, and everybody else has answers. For example, like, why am I sticky? Catholic school. But so it was my turn, and it was a good time. So I picked up a card, and mine was, when I got to heaven, I didn't expect there to be so much blank. And my best friend of 15 years slammed down a card, chuckled, and said, I'm sorry. When I got to heaven, I didn't expect there to be so much traffic. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Keep it going for Micah. All right. Our next comedian is the third mountain person we had in the class who is way taller than me. Please give it up for Dustin Mercia!
How's it going, everybody? Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I grew up in South Bend, Indiana, with a half-black lesbian mother. Yeah. So, of course, that makes me half lesbian and a quarter black. So growing up, I had an odd childhood. It wasn't bad. It was just different than most people. Like I bet, well, there's a few of you in here, but I bet the bulk of you didn't go to a lot of lesbian pool parties growing up. Not nearly as cool as the movies make them out to seem. The only difference is there's a lot more leg hair, there's going to be a hummus platter, and the only music you're going to hear is Tracy Chapman and the Indigo Girls. But yeah, so growing up as a kid, it wasn't out and open as it is today. You know, the gay parades were still for adults only. The drag queens were only in the bars, so we had to keep that shit more so on the don't ask, don't tell spectrum. And so when I would have a friend stay the night, they would be like, who's that other lady in here? And I was like, oh, that's Cindy, that's my aunt. And they'd be like, well, where does she sleep? Because every night I see her going into your mom's room. Well, they have bunk beds in there. Because a 10-year-old will believe any shit you tell them. It wasn't until I was a teenager that I finally got to come out to some of my friends. They'd be making homophobic jokes and coming up with scenarios that were never going to happen. And I was like, you guys got to chill that shit down. You do realize my moms are lesbians. And they'd be like, what? That's awesome. I've got some of their videos at home. I had to break their little 15-year-old hearts and be like, they're not that kind of lesbian, okay? They're more the mullet and cargo shorts type of lesbian. So my mom's always had a really good gaydar. Like, they always knew who the lesbian was going to be long before they came out. Like, you had Melissa Etheridge, Ellen, and then Muffet McGraw. And even though my moms weren't super feminine, they were still boomer women, so they believed men should be doing outdoor work and women should be doing the indoor work. So at 10 years old, I'm out there mowing the lawn, weed whacking. Lucky for me, they would take care of the bushes. Also growing up, my family was very eclectic. Like, my great-grandfather was Middle Eastern, my grandpa was black, and then I had an uncle we always called Burrito. His real name was Chimichanga, but Burrito was easier to pronounce. And then I had a whole army of racially ambiguous cousins. Our family reunion looked like a dysfunctional Small World ride. But so yeah, growing up, I was always hanging out with my cousin John because my grandma would babysit me. And my cousin John, just to let you know a little bit about him, he's 3 times as black as I am and was raised by our grandma, because of course he was. And we would hang out, because my grandma lived in the projects with all the other little hood kids, and none of them had a problem with me. They were just like, Dustin's here, we'd known him since he was a baby. It wasn't until somebody's cousin or some new kid would come around, they'd be like, who the hell's this white kid? Used to confuse the shit out of me. I was like, who is this white kid? We gotta get him the hell out of here. But it didn't take them very long to realize the advantage of having a token white boy around, especially if we ever wanted the ice cream man to stop for us, or a cab, or if the police showed up, of course I had to talk to them. No, officer, I can leave anytime I want. Yes, officer, I'm not being held hostage. Thank you. But yeah, so just in fact, the other day I had a little kid came up to me, he's a little mixed kid, and he says, you're part black? You don't look part black. Say the N-word. And I was like, listen, buddy, if that's all it takes, my father-in-law is the leader of the Black Panther Party, okay? So as a teenager, my moms were finally able to afford to move into a house. They bought a house, and we packed up the Subaru, and of course I had to move all the big shit, like the bunk beds, and we moved all the boxes in the house, and I got the box in my room. Now, every woman in here knows exactly what box I'm talking about. The box should have had in bold print, Mom's room, don't open. I open it up, and I find it. The big, veiny it. This thing looked like one of those Snickers bars you get at Christmas time. And so at this point, I have 2 options. I can either go drop it off in their room and be done with it, or I can hide it. So like any logical man, I buried it in the back of my closet. Now, at some point, it disappeared, and that's when the questions started. Thank you very much. That's my time.
Dustin! He's the third of our Man Mountains, and I did this in the first half. I guess I'm going to have to do this again. So our next comedian, I want you to give a big... P!
So, oh shoot, that's not where it goes. I thought that was the penis mic. Good evening, I'm Robbie P. I'm neither a shower nor a grower. This is pretty much what you get, like a lowercase Jay Leno. Much this size my whole life. I think I came out of the womb this way. I didn't have an actual size till I was about 10. Up until then, I was an adjective, husky. I wore dungarees. I don't know what fucking farm my mom, who grew up in Newark, New Jersey, was on, but that's what I wore, with mostly knee pads. I could take like 3 steps before the jeans actually moved. Anybody ever see an eclipse? I'm over here. Wear the fucking glasses, all right? Eclipses to me remind me of anybody's first orgasm. Could happen in a park. Lasts about 3 minutes. If you're doing it right, you gotta wear glasses, am I right? Probably. In this line of work, I get to travel a lot. I was in Biloxi, Mississippi. Anybody from Biloxi? I wouldn't admit it either. It's like saying you have syphilis in a crowded room. But I was in Biloxi, and I think I caught some of it. No, I still like black people. That's not what it means. I think I just got a little slower. It's just a little slower there. Did you know that Biloxi, Mississippi is exactly 1 hour, 100 years behind us? But I like to travel. I like to move around a little bit. I was in Pennsylvania. I was driving back on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I saw a billboard, and it said, "A little high is too high to drive." And I was like, you know, that billboard is clearly meant to speak to somebody who's contemplating driving high. Because if you wanted to stop the high driver, all the billboard would have to say is, "I know you're high." I mean, and if you wanted to issue a ticket, the next billboard would just say, "We all know you're high." You just look for the brake lights. I got nothing against getting high. I've been to Michigan. I haven't been first-hand high since I've been to Michigan. I just pull up behind any Grand Am and inhale. Then pull right into Burger King. Get a cold fucking burger. And not really give a shit about it. No. I don't want to do any of that hack humor that old guys like me do and talk about their colonoscopy, because I don't kiss and tell. Especially when I paid for it. And keep that shit to myself. I'm a Catholic, yet I've never experienced the touch of a gentleman. Oh, sorry. I thought you guys were all fucking Lutheran. I was going to ask you guys if you had kids, but it looks like the cast of Cocoon out there, so I'm pretty sure you've procreated. But I'm not wrong when I say kids are the dirtiest fucking thing you're going to do. The dirtiest thing you're going to do is have kids. They're going to shit in your hand. They're going to piss in your mouth. They're good shots at it. You take the diaper off, where does it go? Right in the eye or the mouth? That's their choices. I don't care if it's coming out of a vagina or a tube. It doesn't matter. It's going right at you. And it's dirty. And then they sell you that bill of goods where that's that diaper genie that smells like Satan's asshole. Right? It's like having a fucking stable where you park your baby, okay? It doesn't work. It's not good. But I want to share a tender moment I had with my son, okay? He's 2 years old. We go to bed, and we're sitting there laying in bed. We said our prayers. Am I kidding? I'm from New Jersey. We just talked about the people we hated. There we are. We're just laying there, you know, just kind of nose to nose. A gentle moment, father-son moment. We're just sitting there. And I let up one of those burps, those silent but deadly burps. You know, the kind that if you do it in the house, you open the window and your neighbor complains. The kind of burp that reminds you of passing the dump in Goshen. It's like that. And I sit there and I'm trying to hold it in, but I have to let it out. I let it out a little bit. And my son just nestles in and he's like, "Dad, something smells delicious." That's all my time. I'm Robbie P.
our next comedian, I just want to kind of point this out, is one of our youngest of the night, and it was really great to have him. It kept us centered and probably kept our filthy mouths a little bit more in check. So I want to give a big welcome call. You give a big welcome to Damian Terrio.
Like he said, my name is Damian Terrio. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. My biggest inspiration is my grandpa because he's inspired me with all these fat jokes. Now, I got a question. What's the difference between a French pole vaulter and an Olympic pole? I don't know, a couple inches. So, when Joe Biden gets a cup of coffee in the morning, does he ask for a cup of himself? Now, I was on call with my friend the other day. He asked me, what's the most illegal thing you can do with the dollar? Bring it to a bank, turn it into 100 pennies, put it into a socket, beat people with it. Of course, the FBI agent at my phone didn't think I was joking. So, kids at school think they could pick on me because I'm small. You do not want to mess with me. I suffer from depression, and I found the combination in my grandpa's gun locker. Better write it down, he's really old. Now, before any of you all call the cops, my grandpa calls his weight room his gun locker, and these are all the guns I'm gonna need. Now, I had to come to the show tonight, even though I didn't want to. I had to come to the show tonight. The reason I didn't want to was because of all these bad words these people back there were gonna say. But I've heard most of it from my younger sister anyways. What is she, an 8-year-old ex-Marine? So, when I was younger, me and my stepdad went to Spencer's. Oh, that's a bad dad, you're right. I couldn't sit down for weeks. But we were walking on the back wall. I see these shiny things. I look up. Dad, what are those shiny things up there? Why does it have a gem in it? He said, ask your mom. So we got home. I asked my mom, Mom, what were those shiny things on the Spencer's wall? If you hear a in the middle of the night, that's what those are. Now, if there's anything I hate more than my sister, it's those girls on YouTube. Like, they make a post, oh, rest in peace Kobe Bryant, he was my favorite baseball player. Everywhere I go, I can't escape it. The other day, my sister was throwing a tantrum. Told her to let it go. Cold doesn't bother me anyway. Now for you old ones in the audience, especially you, Mom. It's from a movie we like to call Frozen, okay? Okay. So, what if Biden was in the DARE program? Alright kids, today we're on the topic of sniffing children's hair, doing cocaine. I'm your host, Joe Biden. Get me another kid. Alright. way here, we drove by some cows. I know, big shock, welcome to Indiana. There's cows there, cornfield, more cows. Of course, my grandpa says, hi cows, because he loves animals. Also because they're his relatives. Anyways, I'm glad you guys had me tonight. My name is Damien.
The youth of today, right? Man, he was such a treat to have in class. I gotta tell you, it was wonderful to have him in there. And he's really good too, by the way. All right, we're down to our last. Are you ready for our last comedian? Yeah? You guys still having a good time? Yeah! All right, when I say last of the contestant, we still have a headliner. Otis Boggs is gonna close us out. But I want you guys to give a big welcome to Ed Reyes.
Hello everybody, welcome out today on this wonderful insert date. Oh crap, I did it again, I forgot the date. I really gotta stop smoking so much weed. Guys, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ed Reyes. I'm about 5'12". Coming in about 220 pounds. I'm also an Irish Mexican. You can't tell, but it's actually a lie. I just really like my margaritas green. Yeah. I tried to go for that King Mufasa look. Guys, it's beautiful. And it turns out I look more like Scar. Then I went to an Eastern Indian wedding and I told the guy, man, I think I can really pull off Aladdin, right? He said, nah, bro, you're Jafar. It didn't help that I had a parrot in my shoulder. God damn it. Shut up. Then I figured I could dress a little bit better so that I could look more like a hipster. And it turns out I ended up looking more like I could slip your mama Mickey. She wasn't complaining, guy. But I am Mexican, guys. My friends called me Horchata Bin Laden. I told my cousin, the Chupacabra, that. He agreed. He called me ugly. He said I look like a Neanderthal. Yeah, he went as far as calling me Dr. Zayas. You guys know, Planet of the Apes. You guys don't think that's funny, huh? I didn't either. But then Chewbacca came in talking all about like, oh! Which I thought it was him defending me, but as it turns out, it was him calling me uglier than his, or hairier than his ugly side, his dark side. Yeah, guys, it hurt. It hit the feels. I keep messing up though, guys. I keep telling you I'm a Mexican. I just want to let you know I'm not the Mexican you are looking for. You want to give me your social security number and your wallet. But in other news, guys, I've actually been watching a lot of local news networks lately. Did you guys know that other cities have local news networks also? Big facts, guys. Big facts, yeah. I found that some of the local news organizations' names have sounded a little bit menacing. Like, for example, Cron is out of San Francisco. And Cron just sounds like that evil AI system that's probably already taken over the city. Guys, they have self-driving cars there. They're called Waymo, as in like way more efficient than you at driving. Yeah, but Fox doesn't sound that menacing. I mean, just think about it. Fox number 12, come get your brush. Fox number 28, are you still hanging out with the furries? If you didn't laugh at that one, you don't know what furries are. But don't even get me started with BBCs, guys. Do you guys know what BBC stands for? Obviously, a few people do. For those of you that don't know, they stand for Big Brown Comedians. Got him. They should really call us BUBCs, as in like big, ugly, brown comedians. Guilty as charged. If there was a list of big, ugly, brown comedians, it would probably start out with like, I don't know, the Chupacabra, and then it would be like Chewbacca, and then right below that would be me, but they would probably list me as like Mexican Hagrid. Probably need a longer beard for that one, huh? Guys, I don't have much else to tell you. Thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna leave you guys on this one. Do you, by sound of your hands, a clap, do you guys think that hot dogs are a sandwich? Yeah? I still think they're tacos. Follow me at elcomediante_Ed Reyes. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Ed had the prettiest hair of our class this particular. All right, you guys, it's now time. Get out your phones. Start picking the proper one. We're going to bring the house lights up to half. Make sure you can see. It's the big 2D barcode scan. The other two take you to advertisements and more stuff about the Comedy Deli and the Bristol Opera House. Yeah, pick your top 3 favorites, right? So we'll have a 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place. The winner, the 1st place, will get a professional paid gig with the deli at some time to be determined in the future. Everybody got it? Go like this if you understand. All right, close enough. All right, now, while you're voting, we got one of our teachers are going to come out. He was very instrumental in all this, so I want you to give a big welcome to Otis Boggs.
Keep it going for Brad Miller and all the comics you've seen tonight. Pretty good class this year. I'm actually proud of them. Sean, I am. Well, you got laughs, right? That was the whole point. I'm excited that I'm able to sit here and do this for you guys. I like to be able to do a show close to home. I'm out of Napanee. I've been doing a lot of shows in Michigan, so it's nice to go to a place where it smells weed-free. I go to Michigan, and I've never been more petrified that there could be a skunk around every corner. And it's like, oh my God, thank God it's just white trash. Now, I used to be a pot smoker myself, but I found it to be a waste of life for me, because I used to get high and blurt out dumb stuff like, do conjoined twins celebrate Independence Day? That song from AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long, was that written by a baby? It's okay to laugh. If a stripper works at 2 bars, does that make her bipolar? I found pot to be a waste of life for me, though, and I'm not against the people that want to smoke it. How many people here like marijuana? Clap. Okay. All right, lighten up. The cops aren't here. You're okay. I tried it when it was legal in Michigan, but that stuff they got is too strong. It is too strong. Like, I'm a pothead from the 80s. I missed the stems and seeds when I tried that stuff. And you go to the dispensary to get it, right, and they got a lot of cool names for all their strands of weed, but they had to name it stuff like Pay Your Bills. Set your alarm. Don't forget your kid at school again. I mean, it is crazy, but they actually would be a cool name for a strand of weed if they called it Angry Karen, and you can only get it at the dispensary by demanding to speak to the manager. But I'm glad I live in a pot-free state. I really do. Like I said, it's not good. And drinking's no better, right? Drinking for me wasn't no better. Have you ever been so drunk you forgot you were potty trained? That's pretty damn drunk. But I live in like I said, I live in Napanee. It's a large Amish community, and I like the Amish. You know, we coexist together there, and I couldn't imagine what that community would be like if it was taken over by marijuana. You know, like barn raisings would go from 1 day to 6 months. You'd see horse and buggies on blocks. I'm not sure why you'd see the horse on blocks, but there'd be all kinds of hog roast too, like there'd be like sides and pies, snacks, pies, corn on the cob and pie. You know, just be a lot of pie. That's what they're good for. But they don't need anything to nudge them into the English life either, because I could see the Amish taking some of our songs too. Like they would convert the words to like Hotel California. In a dark desert cornfield, cool wind in my hair, one smell of manure rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering bonnet. That's all I got for that. But you get what I'm saying. They would just start stealing our songs. But they don't need any motivation to be bad because they got Rumspringers, right? We have Rumspringers. I was at the laundromat with my grandkids the other day, and one of the kids, Amish kids in there, you know, big farm boy, was in there just loosely throwing out the F-bomb and cussing, and my wife's like, are you going to say something to this kid? And I said, if he's risking an eternity in hell, he'd have no problem punching me in the face. I think I'll leave that kid alone. But I do love it. Anybody here celebrating anything? I didn't hear if Brad had asked. Just coming out to support your friends? That's celebration enough. Give them a round of applause again, guys. I'm actually celebrating that I'm going to be rated one of the top 10 chess masters here in America. Yeah. I haven't lost a game since I changed my king's gender. You got to evolve with the times, people. But I am actually celebrating something in my life. I've actually hit a milestone. I've lost up to 250 pounds from my heaviest weight. You know, when most people need a ride, they call Uber. I had to call 2 men in a truck. But what got me to go to the gym and work out in the first place is I took my wife to a fancy anniversary dinner. I order a 16-ounce steak. It comes to the table, but it's half fat. And my wife's like, you're not going to eat that. I'm like, okay, but she's really insistent. And she calls the waitress over. She goes, excuse me, miss, is this an abnormal amount of fat? And the waitress is like, well, I wouldn't date him. Yeah. So that motivated me to go to the gym. And I didn't want to go to the gym, though, because I'm an older guy. I didn't want to be seen as that old Gen Xer looking at girls at the gym or being seen creepy. But after a few weeks there, I found myself staring. Not at any of the girls, but they had a vending machine. That's the worst place for a thing like that. So I wanted to work out, and I wanted to get a trainer. Couldn't afford it. My wife, she made me like a playlist on my phone that I could listen to while I'm working out, and I'm like, okay, well, it's just kind of like sweating to the oldies. So I put it on, and it was like sugar pie, honey bunch. I'm like, now I'm hungry for sugar pie. I'm like, okay, I'll skip to the next song. Oh, honey, honey, you were my candy girl. I'm like, oh my God, what is she doing? I need Eye of the Tiger, something that's going to pump me up. I'm like, I'll give it one more try. She's my cherry pie. I'm like, okay, I'll just try some of the stuff that they had for free. They had yoga and they had boxing. I'm like, I am not taking yoga, no way. And then I was going to take boxing, and then got ready to start, and then I seen the girl I was going to have to take down, and I'm like, nope, I'm out, I'm taking yoga. She had muscles bigger than me, man. But yoga was great. It activated a lot of muscles. It got me where I needed to be, and I actually shot down between Weight Watchers Blue and the yoga like 100 pounds in 6 months. So it was like a great... But what I didn't like about yoga was like all the moves they have you do, like forward thrust, downward dog, cat pose. I'm like, did I sign up for 50 Shades of Yoga? I did that joke in Atlanta, and the old lady come up to me, she goes, I really liked your 50 Shades of Yoga joke. Tell me, did you have a pleasure room? I said, yeah, for like 25 years it was the kitchen. But everything's good, and the one bad thing I got out of all of this journey of being overweight is type 2 diabetes. So I take a hydraulic pen. It's a shot once a week, and my grandkids were over, and they see me take the shot, and they're like, "Oh wow, that's cool," because it's like, And I'm like, I don't want them to inspire to that. I don't want them to think diabetes is cool, right? So the next time they came over, I took the injection, went into convulsions, and pooped my pants. They don't think diabetes is cool anymore. But I think a food addiction is one of those addictions that nobody takes serious because it's not like you're going to rob a gas station for food money, right? I mean, could you picture me robbing a gas station? Put the money in the bag. Put it in the bag. Are those the new Nutter Butter? They're going to laugh me out the store. And all heavy people work hard to lose weight, so the last thing we're going to do is shoplift something that's going to make us look fatter. Not a chance. Plus, as a big guy, I've had a lot of odd jobs. Like, at one time I was a roofer, but that job fell through. No worries, I bounced right back. For a short time, I was a pizza delivery guy, but I had a hard time explaining to the customers, hey man, those 2 slices were on back order. They wasn't buying it. But I'll get this, my last thing about fat jokes is I knew at a young age that food was going to be my biggest temptation, right? I remember one Halloween, me and my friends went out to teepee houses and messed up some mailboxes, but I couldn't really participate because in case we were to get caught, I would need a 1-block head start just to get away. Anyway, we get up to this one house and I seen my friends get started and then I heard the guy come out of his house yelling. So I took off running, but my friends took off running the other way. Well, 5 minutes later, the cops caught me because I was passed out on the curb. They told me they knew it was me and my friends and what we were doing, and they said I could go free if I give them my friend's name. And I'm like, no way, man. We don't rat out on our friends, do we, Bristol? No. Hell no, man. Me and the cops, we went back and forth, and finally one officer goes, I'll give you a king-size Snickers bar. I said, Ted, me, Bobby, Mike, and Joey. Looking back, I only have one regret about that night. It wasn't so much for selling out my friends, but I think I could have held out for a second Snickers bar. Oh, shoot. By round of applause, how many people here are parents? Parents, clap. What is wrong with the kids these days, man? The other day I had a 5-year-old flip me off and call me a fat jerk. I'm like, after that I wasn't going to give him back his ice cream cone. I can't blame the parents, though, because my wife and I, we're having problems with our own son. I'm kind of disappointed. He's been picked up by the police twice. I'm so disappointed he keeps getting caught. I could have outran the last cop that brought him home. But he's not getting arrested for doing anything cool, right? He's getting arrested for shoplifting Pokemon cards. And I'm like, if you do that as an adult, your Pokemon's going to mean something different to you. And Pikachu's going to turn into Peekaboo. You don't want that in your life. But he is. He's just like, he's trying to get attention or something. He comes home the other day. It's just my wife and I. We're sitting on the couch watching TV. He's got his pants sagging down like he's some kind of gangster. He walks in. He's like, what's up, pimp? My wife looks at him and says, you are not going to act like that, dress like that. I'm like, honey, relax. I'll talk to him. So I had a talk with him, and I got to thinking, how do I know that when I get up and go to work and he goes to school again, he won't be sagging, right? So the next morning, I grab all of his underwear and a brown marker and sit at the kitchen table. I'm no Picasso, but I know my shit. He come out of the bedroom, he's like, whoa, what are you doing? I'm like, keeping your pants there up, skid mark. And you know how teenagers get real defensive, right? He goes, I don't care, I'm gonna wear them like that anyway. I'm like, shoo, go ahead, gangster, skid mark, let your friends know you ain't afraid to bust a crap. And my daughter comes out of the back room and she goes, yeah, and your britches better recognize. I'm like, high five, you might be cool after all. She is. But I know he's doing these things. He's having a tough time. He's getting beat up at school. He come home. He's like, Dad, will you buy me karate lessons? I'm like, why don't you use your allowance to buy karate lessons? He goes, you don't pay me an allowance. I'm like, that's right, because you don't do nothing. I said, come on, son, I'm going to show you a movie I watched when I was a kid. I showed him The Karate Kid, man. He was gung-ho. Wash, wax the car, paint the fence, sand the floor, ready to go, right? Went back to school, got his ass whipped again. He come home, he's like, Dad, I didn't learn anything. I'm like, yeah, you did. You learned how to earn an allowance. Let's go get those lessons. Enough with my son. I actually got a daughter. She's older now, but when she was younger, my wife and I had the biggest problem where she wanted to sleep with us all the time. And it was to the point where we tried to tell her that our room is haunted, we were openly flatulent. We'd even go to the mattress stores and try out mattresses just to remember what it was like before she was born. But one time she lost her first tooth, and I thought, okay, we're going to catch a break because she lost her first tooth. She's going to want that tooth fairy money. Well, she goes in her room, she puts the tooth under the pillow, and then she comes to our room. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? She goes, I'm going to bed. I'm like, honey, you need to be in your room. She looks at me, she goes, I won't get paid. I'm like, honey, it's not about your $5. If you're not in bed when the tooth fairy gets here, he'll kill you. My daughter takes off running into her room, and my wife smacks me in the arm. I'm like, what? And she goes, you can't promise her she's getting $5. We're low rent people, man. Come on. She had a tough time, too, dating in high school. Like, her dating life was not, I don't know. I think it all was because she was a boy band fan. Like, she wanted to date the new kids on the block. None of her relationships were in sync. You know, they kind of went one direction. You know, it was like, I'm just glad she stayed away from those Backstreet Boys because they turn into boys to men real quick. Yeah, I'm that guy. I think she gets that from me, though, because my high school sweetheart, our love song was Almost Paradise. Keyword almost. And she had another song with another guy at the same time called Secret Lovers, right? And when I found out, she had the nerve to ask me, she said, are you upset? And I'm going to be honest with you people, I was simply red. I'm like, if you don't know me by now, you will never, never know me. I wasn't holding back the tears. I didn't care. Honestly, I wanted to call the police, you know, because every little thing she does is magic. But I'm saying, people, she was a witch. Just a witch. But I did ended up dating a girl after her in the same trailer park that my friends tried to warn me about, that she was crazy. They're like, you should stay away from her, she's crazy. I'm like, she smiled at me and gave me attention. I think I might love her. So we're dating for a while, like 3 or 4 months in, and then I found out what my friends were saying, because at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm laying in bed, she's standing over me on the bed holding a rifle, waking me up, telling me it's time to go kill the Antichrist. You don't exactly tell a woman like that, no. Right? My first thought was, wow, Mom's going to love her because she's a Christian. Thank God, 30 feet into our journey, her ankle bracelet went off. We'll have to postpone that killing, honey. But what I missed the most about that relationship is she always kept a bunch of Lunchables in the refrigerator. If you don't know, Lunchables are the charcuterie of the trailer park, I'm telling you. That's for me and my people, I'm telling you. Oh, shoot. But I'm growing older, and I couldn't imagine if I wasn't married. I've been married 26 years, right? But could you imagine dating now with the pronouns and stuff? I will never pick on people. I will never hurt people or bother people for their pronouns. It's just not my bag. But if a woman told me if I was single, like, my pronouns are she, her, and I'd be like, well, your adjectives are single and lonely. You know, I don't care what you do or how you identify. Just leave my 80s songs alone. That's all I ask. Please leave my 80s music alone. Don't remake anything. Don't change anything. If I turn on the radio and I hear Jesse's Girl and it's, Jesse is a friend. Yeah, I know him has been a good friend of mine. But lately something's changed and ain't hard to define. Jesse's got him and then they there and I want to make she her mine. You get what I'm saying, just leave it alone. But thank God I'm married though, because my wife and I were, like I said, we've been together for 26 years and we've morphed into this older couple. We like to sit at home on nights off when we're not doing anything and watch movies. And one night we were watching a movie and we got in a big fight. Just probably over something stupid. And she looked at me, she goes, I chose wrong. I'm like, what do you mean you chose wrong? That's the word she uttered to me. She goes, well, somewhere out there there's an Otis, skinny, rich, good looking. I'm like, yeah, but that Otis has a beautiful wife. Anyway, for the purpose of this joke, she started it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do love being married, but after a fight like that, I'm not a huge fan of big government, but I think I could use OSHA in my marriage. If I go to the back bedroom and I see a lockout tag out on the door, I'm backing off for my safety. And I wish I would have had one for menopause, because women are very scary when they have menopause. Guys, do yourself a favor and do exactly what you're told. Do exactly what you're told. We can actually use an MSDS too, like our SDS now, for bad gases in your marriage, like a warning to sleep in separate bedrooms after Taco Tuesday. Or no more Dad's famous chili after 50. Right? I'm going to get away with this now because my wife's not here, but my wife can turn the whole house into a Dutch oven. It's so bad. The last time I got 3 dogs, 2 of them are rescues, and we're hiding from her under the blanket, right? And the 2 that are rescues are looking at me like, I think I'd rather go back. I'm like, what? Yeah, but I do love my wife. The only thing I don't like before I get out of here is I've had a long issue with my mother-in-law, and it's like a back and forth battle. Anybody else got an asshat for a mother-in-law? I asked that at a club last week, and a guy goes, not anymore. I'm like, whoa, okay. But when I graduated high school, I wanted to be a cop, and I wouldn't have been a good one. I'd have been a bad cop. I just know me. I'm crooked. And I would have probably ripped off drug dealers or, did people wrong, and I'd have been like, you know what, I love my family. You stay away from them. And I love my mother-in-law. She's my favorite person. You stay away from my mother-in-law at 21 Oak Grove Avenue. And I'd better never see you at her house on Thursday when she's completely by herself. Hey, I'm Otis Box. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting your people tonight.
Keep it over, Otis Boggs. Come on. All right. Listen up. I'm going to bring all the comedians back out, and we're going to give them a big round of applause. Give a big thank you guys. Come on. Let's hear it. Bring them all out, JP. Will. Damien. Bring them all out. You got everybody? You got everybody? We're still missing a couple. There's Mo. Everybody out? All right. You guys have been such a tremendous crowd. I have the winners right here in my little hands. So I'm going to start off with the Thumb Award first. Our 3rd place winner here. Let me get this trophy here. It says 3rd place. It's a little glass little thumb. It's kind of cool. And our 3rd place winner. Give it up for Delmar Berkey. Silver 2nd place winner. This is like silver medal at the Olympics. We could do the Olympic song if you like to. Our 2nd place winner, Robbie P. And our winner for the 2004 Spring 101 class, Kristen Baker. Keep supporting live comedy. Thank you, great. Have a great night. Thank you very much. Bye. All right, you get off the stage now.
Okay, thank you.
Man, I tell you. All right, thank you all.
Don't stop short of it. Don't kick me. Go back. Which way are you going?